Today, we're digging into one of the biggest technological shifts happening on the planet right now. But here's the thing, it's not taking place in some lab in Silicon Valley, it's happening out on our fields. We are talking about a new agricultural revolution, and it all starts with something you probably see every single day.
All right, just take a look at this apple. It seems simple, right? Natural, a product of good soil and a little bit of sun. And for centuries, the story of our food was pretty much just that. Very direct, very hands-on. But the journey this particular apple took to get to us is, well, it's a lot more complex and way more high-tech than you could probably imagine.
Because what if I told you that the story of this apple now involves robotics, artificial intelligence, big data, even satellite imagery? Yeah, really. We are in the middle of a technological transformation that's just as profound as the Industrial Revolution, and it is completely reshaping the food on our plates.
But look, this change isn't just happening for the sake of technology. Not at all. It's being driven by pure necessity. Modern agriculture is facing this monumental challenge that demands a totally new way of thinking.
Let's just start with the numbers because they're pretty staggering. By the year 2050, our planet's population is expected to hit 10 billion people. And to feed everyone, we're going to have to increase global food production by a whopping 30%. And here's the catch. We have to do it with less available farmland, since we're losing ground to things like erosion and urban sprawl.
On top of that, the rules of the game are getting a lot stricter. Policies like the European Green Deal are demanding huge reductions in what farmers can even use. By 2030, we're talking about a 50% cut in pesticides and a 20% cut in fertilizers. That is a massive ask.
So you see the dilemma, right? Produce significantly more food, but with drastically fewer resources, and all under much tighter rules. The Food and Agriculture Organization actually has a name for this: sustainable intensification. It's a puzzle that seems almost impossible to solve, except for technology.
To really understand the solution, we kind of have to understand how we got here in the first place. The way we farm has already gone through a few big revolutions. And right now, we are smack in the middle of a brand new one.
Think of farming's history in three big phases. You had Agriculture 1.0, where farmers knew their land inside and out, managing these small patches by hand. Then came Agriculture 2.0, the age of mechanization. Tractors got huge, fields were all combined, and that really detailed knowledge, it got lost. The entire field was just treated as one giant uniform block. But now, we're stepping into Agriculture 3.0, and we're using digital tools to get all that precision back.
This new approach has a name: precision agriculture. And it's a simple idea, but it's absolutely revolutionary. Instead of treating a whole field as one single unit, you use technology to see it as a mosaic of different zones. Each zone has its own specific needs for water or fertilizer or pest control. It's basically farming with a scalpel, not a sledgehammer.
So what does this new toolkit for precision farming actually look like? Well, it really boils down to three core areas of innovation that all have to work together perfectly. This whole toolkit has three key pillars. First, you've got smarter plants. That's using advanced genetics. Then you've got smarter tools, things like sensors and robots. But there's this really fascinating step in the middle that enables everything else: smarter orchards. This is about completely redesigning the farm itself to be more efficient, and it is a total game changer.
This is such a radical shift in thinking. We're moving away from those traditional, complex, bushy 3D trees that you probably have in your mind, and we're moving towards these highly organized, two-dimensional systems called fruit walls. This new architecture just makes everything, pruning, spraying, harvesting, incredibly efficient. It improves sunlight for better fruit, and most importantly, it's designed from the ground up to work with machines.
And when you start designing farms specifically for machines, well, that leads directly to the most exciting part of this revolution: the machines themselves. Autonomous robots are not science fiction anymore. They are out in the fields right now, transforming some of agriculture's most difficult jobs.
So say hello to Gus, the global unmanned spray system. This is a fully autonomous vehicle, and it's designed to do one of the most resource-intensive jobs in an orchard, spraying, but with incredible precision and efficiency.
And get this, a single operator, sitting safely in a truck, can manage a whole fleet of up to 8 of these machines at once.
It uses a mix of GPS and LiDAR to navigate, and a Gus can work for up to 14 hours straight, day or night. The result? Yeah, lower labor costs, but maybe even more important, much less human exposure to chemicals. Now, if spraying is a challenge, then harvesting fresh fruit is the final boss. It's physically demanding, it's expensive, and there are chronic labor shortages. That's the exact problem the FFR robot was designed to solve. And this is where it gets truly mind-blowing. An experienced human picker can harvest about 130 to 190 kilograms of apples per hour. The FR robot, with its 12 independent arms, can pick up to 1,500 kilograms per hour. That's about 10 times faster. And it can work 20 hours a day, picking fruit with a damage rate that's pretty similar to human hands. It's just incredible.
These robots are absolutely amazing, but they are just the hardware. The real revolution, the brain that powers this entire shift, isn't metal, it's data.
I love this quote from an agricultural technical director named Mario Gonzalez. He compares this wave of digitalization to a tsunami. It's just unstoppable. He says, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf them. And that just perfectly captures the proactive mindset you have to navigate this new era.
What all of this really means is that the very definition of a farmer is changing. It's a fundamental shift away from decisions based on intuition and gut feelings to decisions driven by science and hard data. The modern farmer is becoming a high-tech manager, analyzing information from sensors, satellites, and software to decide exactly when to water, how much to fertilize, or where to deploy their robot fleet.
And this is really just the beginning. The next stage is what people are calling Agriculture 4.0, which is all about big data, creating these interconnected farms where information just flows automatically. And beyond that, Agriculture 5.0, a future where fleets of specialized robots actually work together, sharing data and making collaborative decisions to manage the entire operation all on their own. It's wild to think about.
So, this revolution is about so much more than just efficiency. It's transforming the very nature of a farm into a dynamic, data-driven ecosystem. And it leaves us with this huge question. As our fields become sprawling data centers, what does that really mean for the security, the sustainability, and the very quality of the food on our plates?